you do not say no tomorrow. So, someone gave me a good line a bit earlier on, and it wasn't part of the speech, but I'll add it, and it obviously sitting in the dark, and said it's the first time in 50 years that the spark went out. So, and to be honest, I'm really glad to have the opportunity to have a little chat and say about what my parents mean to me and mean to all of us. Because most children, really, they only get a chance to eulogise about their parents when they're doing a eulogy. Thankfully I'm not, although if something goes down well, I might save a bit and you may hear it again in hopefully many years to come. What I've been told about sort of mum and dad is that they met in London. I'm not 100% sure how, but it probably something to do with a pioneers dance, which sounds like there's no alcohol involved, which for most of us seems like a very alien prospect and really pointless. Obviously, unless you're at an under 12's birthday party, but even then you've got to search most of the little shits to keep the booze out. Dad was a parky, and mum worked in Bon Marché as some sort of lip reader, generally dicking about. By the sound of it, no real work. Sounded as though it was done at all. As with most things, no path of flowers leads to glory, and some stage during the early relationship they split up. Now Dad obviously missed her, so he sent a message by a mutual friend to Mum. This is Mum's version, by the way, I don't know whether it's true. So Dad sent a message to my mum through a mutual friend. There was no Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, and said that she would like Mum to call him, and basically she said, no, if he wants to call her, he can do it. Well, anyway. Whatever happened, they got back together. I did ask Mum once, I said, well, what was wrong with the other boys you went out with? And she said, nothing really, but they just weren't Kevin. Anyway, long story sideways, on the 26th September 1964, they got married in St Mary's Church in Clapham. Dad's best man was his brother Donald. Mum was given away by her brother Mick, flanked by bridesmaids Max and Peggy. I don't know, I'm not sure that is. But anyway, after reception, Dad's car received the traditional decoration. Just married adorned the car in Mum's brand new expensive lipstick. Some extra special treatment was received in the stones in the hubcaps, which apparently caused Dad to stop on the motorway to sort out. So if we go back to 1964, just 2 weeks before the marriage, the Sun newspaper was launched. Crystal Palace, the newly promoted side in the second division. The following Sunday, Galway won the All-Ireland Gaelic football, beating Kerry, which for a Cork man was almost as good as Cork winning itself. So, number 1 in the charts, Herman's Hermits, I'm Into Something Good, and the new Bond film?
Dr. No.
Goldfinger. Yeah. The British Prime Minister, which is why I've tried to stay a little bit sober for this. So Aglis, no, see, I fucked it. That's him. Right. And succeeded by Harold Wilson, which is much easier. So if you got married 3 weeks later, it would be fine. We just did Harold Wilson. But no, Sir Alex Douglas Home. Oh, that's a good one. All right, Irish President, Amy de Valera, Taoiseach Sean Lemass, and European Car of the Year, British car, Austin 1800. Back to the main event. After a short honeymoon in Ireland, the following July, me, son and heir, was born. Before we start counting, 10 months. It's 10 months. Right? 15 months later, along came Maura. 16 months after that. That's just you, wasn't it? 15 months later came Glenn. And then less than a year after that, Irish twin, Rob. So in 1969, 4 kids under 5. I mean, that deserves a round of applause if nothing else does, doesn't it? Especially when we're all alive. Actually, I'm going to add something. I always remember this when we were little. I'm allowed something else. But when we were little, Mum was a real planner. She always planned for us. And first of all, she'd say, we'd go to cinema, we'd always sit in a line as we would do. And she'd go, I'm going to check the fire escape. So she'd go and check the fire escape. And she'd go, right, okay, the fire escape is fine. They said, right, Sean, you take Bob, Glenn and Maura, you come with me. There was a bit of selection going on here. I only worked out later on. Okay, one thing that always sticks in my mind as well is that we rarely saw Mum and Dad argue or discuss. Discussing something. In fact, the only time we ever really heard it was in the car. And that was when Dad was relying on Mum's map reading. It's clear that as the marriage has developed, they have found the secret to a happy marriage: satellite navigation. As I'm sure most of you know, a few years ago I separated from my wife and my ex-wife. But anyway, as my parents couldn't have been more supportive. They were absolutely brilliant. As well as allowing me to stay, store all my crap, that's what I say nicely. I left when I upgraded, and with two things. One was quite a big interest in Coronation Street. They start watching, if you start watching, the next thing you're really into it. And the realisation that actually I had made the right decision, because when you see them together, day after day, talking, laughing, discussing, mostly about me, you realise that after all this time married, they don't just tolerate each other. They really love each other. That's why I'm really proud to be here celebrating their golden wedding anniversary, as it really is a true celebration, not an endurance. So please, you raise your glasses to the still very happy couple, Kevin and Claire. Mum and Dad, come up, this is a little present for you from the grandkids they want to give you.
Right, yeah. Can I get you to hold that? Sorry. Yep.
It's 2 years backdated rent money.
Picture with my nanny and granddad.
Okay, Maura's going to check this up.
Caitlin.